Time for another update. Mainly DVDs, but I have a few Blu-rays to show you. First, I'm gonna start showing you a few things that I have already shown you, but I just want to update you on them. So we got a Blu-ray called Shark Water. It's a movie basically about sharks. It's a sort of a pro-shark movie about a filmmaker who is also sort of a shark enthusiast, or I'm not sure, but an advocate for sharks, getting treated better, and he sort of wants to show and prove that they're not as dangerous as people make them out to be, and it's basically about sharks, and it was pretty good. I got this for Christmas actually, and never really felt like watching it, but eventually now I did, and I'm kind of glad I did, because it was I like it. It has some stuff that is not some of the filmmaking style. I mean, it's kind of corny in a way, but I did like it. Then I finished Game of Thrones, which I just wanted to mention I really liked, especially the last couple of episodes. I think the last 4 episodes or so were the best ones in my opinion. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed this show a lot, and I'm looking forward to the second season, but I'm not gonna watch it until it's out on DVD, so it might take a while. And then this one I've shown you a long time ago, Jurassic Park Ultimate Trilogy on Blu-ray. You probably don't remember, but it was months ago that I bought this, and then I watched the first movie pretty shortly after, and then I watched the second movie eventually, and then the third movie took me a while to watch because I had heard bad things about it, but it turned out that I had actually seen it before because I recognized a few things. I like the whole trilogy. The third one is the weakest, but I still think it's pretty good, and the second one I think it's a good movie. First one is a sort of a childhood classic, and mainly I wanted to show this because I've been enjoying, mainly the past couple of days, I've very much been enjoying watching the special features. So if you like the movies but haven't seen the features, I recommend this box set. I paid £27 for it. I looked up on Amazon, and now it's 15 UK, so that's almost twice as much I paid for it, but hey, it was worth it, but it would have of course been better to pay 15. Then we got two Blu-rays that I have not shown you. Amadeus. I have the DVD of this, and I've seen it 2 times before. I expected to like it more this time, but well, it's kind of uneven in a way, because the first half, or maybe just the first third, I'm not sure, but the first part that takes place in that, the first part, that's definitely the best of the movie in my opinion. It's never really weak. It's just it's a movie about the music, of course, but I just think there's too much music, too much footage of the theater performances. I'm not too interested in that, I have to admit. So I'm not sure if there's a shorter version out there which would be more to my liking. But whatever, I think it's still an amazing movie, and I wanted to have it on Blu-ray. So, and then we got Kick-Ass, which I didn't like as much the second time. Saw it in the movie theater, but I still think it's great, and I paid about $2 pretty much, and they was sort of a part of a deal. I think cdon.com is where I bought it from, maybe, and they might have had a 13-year anniversary or something, because I think this was 13 crowns, so very cheap. That's the Blu-rays. This one I've also shown you before. I'm starting with those, and this one I'm gonna show you because it's been a while and I wanted to recommend it, and it's Anne Frank Remembered. Not sure why, but I bought this after I read the book, and really I was looking forward to watching it, but then when I got it, I never watched it for months, and I just never felt like it. I'm not sure why, but it's about why I think this is such a great documentary is because all interviews, I think 100% of the interviews are with the people who were related to or who knew the Frank family, or acquaintances or friends or witnesses, or childhood friends to Anne Frank. They are interviewed, and Miep Quess, or however you pronounce her name, she's been interviewed, and they go with her to the camera team or whatever. They go with her to the actual house. Not sure what it's called now. I mean, I can't remember, but where they hid, and yeah, and then they interview people about the family and stuff that evolves. I mean, that has to do with the Holocaust and everything. It's very good, I think. I was gonna make this into a two-parter, but I don't think I'm gonna have to do that. Waxwork. This is sort of a horror comedy. This, if you like creatures, this might be one for you, because it includes vampires, zombies, and werewolves, I believe, and also a mummy and some other stuff, mainly in the ending, which I have no idea what most of those creatures are supposed to be, but a lot of creatures in this. Especially, I'm not a big fan of vampire movies, but in this one I thought it worked a lot better. The vampire sequence in this is really good, I think. Basically, there's a waxwork or a wax museum or whatever with different scenes. Not wax museum of celebrities or anything, but with different scenes, put together, and it's a magical waxwork. And the people who go on to the scenes, which are, or the podiums or whatever, you're not supposed to do that, but they do that, and the owner wants them to do that too, because he's sort of this bad guy or whatever, and when they go onto the scene, that takes them to an actual location, teleports them to another place, and it's about that whole thing. I thought it was pretty good, but the plot is, I mean, it's pretty cool, the whole thing that I just explained, but then the plot and the ending and everything, it's just not that good, but it's definitely a feast for the eyes at some parts, and I liked it. This movie I've seen before, Orphan, definitely didn't like it as much this time, which I expected that. It's still pretty good, but I gave it an 8 out of 10 the first time I saw it, which makes me sort of question the way I read movies back whenever. But it's still pretty good, but it's definitely flawed. But it has a lot of memorable stuff. This was also very cheap. Not sure where I bought it, but it was one of those deals, like Kick-Ass. We got The Cooler, which started out much better, or the first half or so was much better than later on. It sort of went, I'm not sure what to make out of it anymore. It got a bit uneven, but it's a drama movie with some, well, really not that much, but some elements of comedy and some elements of sort of crime, even some very slight supernatural elements, which you probably will know what I'm talking about if you've seen it, but I'm not gonna explain what it is, because it's not it's not really a fantasy or anything. It's just a little sort of supernatural. But yeah, William H. Macy, Alec Baldwin. About he's the cooler at a casino. If someone is on a winning streak, then he just fixes that, and he doesn't have to do anything. He just walk by. And well, now I sort of did explain the sort of paranormal thing. It's a little bit more to it, but yeah. Then there's a romance, and then there's problem with Alec Baldwin and William H. Macy. They have a dispute or whatever, and anyway. I didn't like it that much, but it's worth a watch. And then we got Baise-moi, or however you pronounce it. I think it might translate to Fuck Me, but the English title is Rape Me. I don't know, maybe it can be translated both ways, or maybe they couldn't use the F word in the English title. I really am not sure. Maybe Rape Me and Fuck Me are both alternative titles for the English title. I don't know. But this is a French movie anyway, which you probably figure out by the title. And I usually don't, but I like the gritty nature of it. The road movie combined with a sort of grittiness. But what I don't like, and I'm not against porn or anything, as a guy I like porn. I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't. But in movies I just don't think that they're better off with the pornographic scenes. I actually didn't know that this was supposed to be sort of almost a porno when I bought it. I knew it was going to be very erotic and stuff, but I didn't know that it was going to be actually unsimulated, sexual scenes. But there is, and that makes the movie worse, in my opinion. But still, I don't remember what I rated it, but I still think it's pretty okay. We got Multiplicity with Michael Keaton and Andy McDowell. I'm not sure how, but I never noticed how hot Andy McDowell is. I didn't prior to watching this. Anyway, it's about Michael Keaton's character. They're I'm not sure if they're married, but they're a couple anyway. And he's a very busy man, and he decides to multiply himself when he gets the opportunity delivered to him. I enjoyed it. The cloning of Michael Keaton is very well done, but some of the other stuff, I guess the plot and just the more general things or whatever, it's not as good, but definitely entertaining. It's one of these things where one actor plays different, very numerous sort of physical incarnations or whatever of one body, if you know what I mean, and they have to hide that, and that results in a bunch of farcical situations and etc. I think those movies are fun. Orphaned Land, live at the Reading 3 Tel Aviv, it says, but the DVD is called The Road to Orshalem, and if you can tell, the edges, or they look scuffed, but they're not. It's supposed to be like that. Orphaned Land is a metal band incorporating progressive metal band incorporating a lot of Middle Eastern and sort of Israeli folk music elements, and they do it very well, and they're one of my favorite bands. I wasn't disappointed with the DVD, but it wasn't one of the better music DVDs that I own. But still, if you like the band, then it's definitely worth a watch. During the concert, Kobe Fari, he walks into, this is vocalist, and he walks into the audience, not with some massive steel plates at each, or fences on each side of him, but actually into the audience, and that I like. And once again, which is so great with these DVDs, you get to know the band members more, or you get a better perspective on the band members, and yeah. So that I always like that. I just showed Multiplicity. This is The Big White with a really good cast: Robin Williams, Holly Hunter, Giovanna Ribisi, Woody Harrelson. I thought Giovanna Ribisi was the best one in this. He was really good. Did a great performance. This one, I saw someone saying that it was a rip-off of Fargo, which I don't want to go that far, but I would still like to sort of compare it to it. But I still think it's pushing it a little, because the movie is not that similar. Well, I mean, it was a long time I saw Fargo, and I need to see it again, but sort of the atmosphere, and I guess a lot has to do with the snow landscapes. I'm not sure where Fargo takes place, but this is in Alaska. There's some flaws to this movie, but it has some so promising stuff that I just love. But then there's some other things that makes the movie just not mediocre. It's still good, but they drag it down I'd still kind of recommend it, but yeah, some things I was like, come on. Then we got a documentary which I don't believe that many people would know of, and it's called My Flesh and Blood. I think it's the one and only movie by Jonathan Karshi. This was like made 10 years ago, so it's a movie I would sort of like to make a separate video about, but I thought it was very good and I would recommend you getting it. It's about Susan Tom, a woman, an American woman who has 13 children. I think about 11 or 10 live at home. Most of them are adopted, or maybe all. I'm not sure. I mean, of the ones living at home, she has 2 biological sons who moved out and who are not in the movie. But most of the ones living at home, or all of them, as I said, are adopted, and most of them have some physical or psycho or mental, handicap, or they're disabled in very different ways. And one might wonder why she's chosen. She's on her own too. She doesn't have a husband or anything. She did, but not anymore. I hope I mentioned it's a documentary, by the way. If I didn't, then well, maybe that was obvious. But and as I started saying, one might wonder why she decided to adopt so many handicapped or disabled children on her own. It was her own choice. She didn't have to do it, but well, I mean, I guess she has her reason. I think her reason, whatever it might be, should probably be enough. I mean, they probably go through it in the movie. I don't remember exactly. I saw it twice, if you count the commentary, because I did watch it the whole thing again with the commentary by the filmmaker, and then there's some interviews and behind the scenes footage, which really makes this DVD a must-have. I think you should definitely check it out. Very moving. It's funny and humorous, but at the same time, it's very touching. And it's even sad too. Then, very happy to have this. Weeds Season 6. Got this for a pretty good price too. I think I got it in the same order as Kick-Ass. I think about 130 crowns I paid for it, which to me is a pretty good price, but cheaper than on Amazon, I think. So at least Amazon UK, but Amazon US, I tried using that website. I was gonna give it a shot because I thought it was cheaper, and it is, but the shipping is way too high. So, but anyway, on this season they're on the road, and still same old weeds, but the sort of nature or whatever of the show is different, because there's no one location that they will return to, like a reasonable place would be the protagonist's house, but in this one, they're moving the whole time, so not that many places are shown for more than 1 or maybe 2 episodes. So that I like. I thought it fitted the show. I believe in season 7. I don't think this is too much of spoilers, because you might have heard it already, and I think they're in New York in the 7th season, but in the end of this, there's no sign of them moving to New York. So I'm not sure if they're gonna get into that in the first episode of the 7th season, or if it's gonna take a while. I don't know. Probably will get there pretty quickly, since the tagline of season 7 is something like New York, New Life, or whatever. Anyway, I love Weeds. They have written some characters out of the show, or for whatever reason, some of them are not in it anymore. But I'm glad that Kevin Nealon is still in it, because he's my favorite character by far, actually. Then we got Once Upon a Time in the West. It's really good. I just wish that all elements was as strong as the the scenery. It's just insane. It just has great proportions of in the West, the landscapes, and such a well-made movie in that sense. But at the same time, the details is just incredible, and the scenery and just the visuals, absolutely mind-blowing. Some of the best I've ever seen, I think. But the plot, it's not bad. It's not even mediocre. It's pretty good. It's just that it's not as good as what I just mentioned, and the pacing felt right at first, but then it sort of got a little slow, and I just wanted the movie to, okay, now get on with it, you know. I mean, very good movie, but I mean, imagine still taking place, and everything about what I said I liked about it is still there, and then it has the most incredible cinematography and action sequences and everything. That would just be a mind-blowing movie, and maybe I like it more with a second watch, but yeah, I just think it's too bad that everything is not as good as that. That's my opinion anyway. Man of the Year. This is a political comedy. It's a weird movie in a way. I mean, it looks like just this total, regular, mediocre comedy, you know, and I don't know, it's kind of mediocre, I guess, but it has weird elements of not really dramatic or mysterious or suspenseful, but some sort of combination of all three, and that just gives it all a slight thriller feeling. It has this sort of suspenseful music at times, and the atmosphere is darker in parts, and it's just kind of odd. I'm not sure what to make out of it, but I still I'm so used to saying that. I still enjoyed it, or still liked it. I'm not sure if I did in this case, actually. But yeah, it's Robin Williams, and that's the reason I bought it. It's a political movie, as I said, and I'm not interested in politics, so that's probably why I didn't enjoy it that much. But another Robin Williams movie, The Birdcage. This by the end, first of all, it ended very sudden and odd, and it was like they had to change something in the last minute, and they had to end it because they didn't have any more days to shoot. Something like that. That's probably not the case, but that's what it felt like, and you were like, okay, that's how it ends. Well, I guess that's how it ends. And then some of the last sequence with the whole dinner thing, it's just it's not that good, but everything that leads up to it is definitely worth watching, and it's a fun movie. Good cast too: Gene Hackman, Diane West, I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name, and Nathan Lane is in it, and Hank Azaria is in it. And I don't, of course, don't mean any. I mean, no offense when you know, but Hank Azaria, he probably plays the gayest fucking character that I've ever seen. He's really funny, and although he does make these type of parts really well, these goofy characters, I almost always prefer his acting when he's just acting, like, you know, like in the series Huff. He's just a regular guy, pretty much, and he's just acting. You know, he's a regular person, and that's pretty cool. How someone who make a lot of these parts and who's in The Simpsons can pull off a completely believable character, and you don't even think about the fact that he's Apu and Mo, you know. Anyway, last DVD, so a triple feature. 3 Ernest movies. These are very cheap. This one was like £350, I think, and then shipping too. But Ernest Goes to Camp, Ernest Scared Stupid, and Ernest Goes to Jail is the movies in here. And mainly I had heard Cool Duder talk about the movies, that's why I bought them. Yeah, that's the main reason. He mentions Goes to Camp as one of his favorite movies, I think. Although he might have many, it's still one of them. And that was... I don't see any other reason to that than the fact that he probably watched it a lot when he was a kid. Because that's a terrible movie. It's really bad. These two are not as bad, but there's stuff in it that I just don't know why they put in there. And I guess the only reason is because they're probably directed towards children or young audiences, and that's pretty obvious that they are. But I was still curious, and for some reason they put Goes to Camp and Goes to Jail on one disc, but Scared Stupid on a separate. And of some reason, there's something about them that I enjoyed, at least these two. I'm not probably gonna get more of them actually, although I didn't necessarily like them, but I thought they were enjoyable watches, or, you know, an enjoyable watch for both of these two. This one, not so much, but Yeah, so I enjoyed it, and that is all for this time. It ended up a very long video anyway, but oh well. It's like 11 p.m., 11:30 maybe even, and I'm gonna eat now. So that's an odd routine for you. Gonna have my dinner now at almost midnight. Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see when the next one comes up, and yeah, see you later.